Good evening, I'm Dr. Olebara Comfort. I'll be speaking on cyber first aid, researchers cyber first aid. Permit me to share my screen, please. And the researchers cyber first aid has to do with applying cybersecurity tools to data protection, especially in the area of research and development. The outline for this talk will be the introduction, cyber terms, definition of some of the terms, cyber attack victim, want to know who the victim is, why researchers are targets for cyber attack, how a researcher can protect himself from cyber attack, how a researcher can maintain an attack-free status. These are the topics we'll be presenting. The methods proposed here are not best practices in cybersecurity domain, but these are easily implementable tools. Tools with graphical user interface that a researcher with minimal computer knowledge can learn and use without much stress. The framework for implementation of technology has instructs that, like the term technology adoption model, advocates ease of use. So what we are having here, though they are not the best practices, but we are looking at graphical user interface applications that will have fewer clicks, be easy for researchers that are not deeply into computing to remember the procedures and also to apply them. The idea is just to help them protect their intellectual property and minimize access to their computers. Literally speaking, first aid is the first treatment given to an injured person before taking the person to the hospital. And in the cybersecurity domain, first aid here is simply applying cyber hygiene activities and doing one or two other complex jobs in order to minimize the rate at which hackers can gain access to a researcher's system or data or information that is housed in his system. Attackers use what we call attack vectors. Cyber first aid has to do with detection, prevention, and removal of attack vectors. It is necessary to define some terms here because this work is not actually meant for people in this field alone. So we are defining a few terms in the cybersecurity. Cyber is related to anything that has to do with computers and computer networks such as internet. The cyberspace is a global domain within the information environment that consists of interconnected networks, interdependent network of information systems, the infrastructures used to connect the systems or communicate with within the systems, like the satellite, the internet, the telecommunications network, the microcontrollers and microprocessors. All this make up what we call the cyberspace. Cyber attack is an attack that is launched in the cyberspace. It is carried out via the cyberspace. Cybersecurity, on the other hand, is a practice of defending computers, mobile applications, mobile devices, data that is in these devices, defending all these systems from malicious attack. Jin et al. In 2019 observed that attacks over the internet are becoming more complex. The authors surveyed existing researches in the area of data collection and analytics, and they were able to categorize these into 4 categories, implying that data can be collected and analyzed at the packet level, flow level, connection level, and the host level. Okwando et al. In their review of current and future cybersecurity threats in the aviation industry observed that the major reason for cyber attack is intellectual property and intelligence. Who is cyber attack target? Who is the target for cyber attack. Anyone with internet presence is a target. Anyone that has any business to do online, either for internet banking, for voice over internet protocol, whatever it is, you have sending or receiving emails, you name it, whatever business one has online, that makes that the person an attack target of cyber criminals. The reason researchers are cyber attack targets is not far-fetched. The researcher is the driver of the economy. He's at the helm of, like, he is the one who helps the most economies to advance. Countries like China moved from being a developing country to being a developed country as a result of investment in research and in training. Now, these trainings are also carried out by researchers. Intellectual property and intelligence outcome have given birth to sustainable disruptive technologies in the area of Uber. We have the Uber, we have the internet, we have the e-commerce. All these are also the outcome of research. Now, many economies, nations, and organizations invest heavily in research to meet the needs that they have. Whenever there is a need in any area, be in agriculture, in aviation, a lacuna they want filled, they generate a fund, or they kind of raise grants for people or researchers to work in such areas. And before long, they get such problems solved. Also, in the recent past, we had the experience of COVID-19 pandemic, where most nations were locked down. Heavy investments were made in the area of research, healthcare research, and the healthcare experts went into action, and today we are enjoying the outcome of that investment. Today there are vaccines that people can take and be able to live their normal lives without fear of the pandemic. Our cyber hygiene, our cyber first aid, we are categorized into two. We have the first method, which has to do with observing cyber hygiene practices, such as having our antivirus up to date, having system firewall always on, scanning the computer with active antivirus from time to time, verifying URL publishers before downloading from them, not opening files, emails you're not sure of. Backing up files to the cloud is also recommended. And then keeping system and application software up to date is another cyber hygiene practice. The second method is by packet sniffing, analyzing the packets that flow in and out of our systems and checking them for malware. And then if any site or any URL is discovered to have malware, we can block that site from communicating with our machine. The hackers use, like I said, attack vectors. Some of these tools in the hands of the hackers are the Trojan horse, the virus, the SQL injection, the cookie bait, the cookie poisoning. There are so many of them. We just listed a few here. For our packet capturing or analysis, we'll be using the Wireshark application. The Wireshark application is graphical user interface application that allows the user to view the inflow and outflow of packets, be able to analyze the packets, find out if they have malware or not, by collaborating with other applications, graphical user applications. This is the window after installation. Now, for internet data, maybe we'll be capturing the Wi-Fi connection. Now, on capturing the Wi-Fi connection, we are presented with three panels. The topmost panel topmost panel shows the date and time of the capture, the source and destination ports of the packets, source and destination ports of source and destination IP addresses of the packets, the protocols of each packet, the length of the packet, and then hosts as well as the information concerning each packet. Now, to view the information or to view data on each packet, I just have to highlight the packet and then come to the second panel and expand on the entries under the frame, the Ethernet, the Internet Protocol version 4, the TCP, and then the transport layer security. Now, so many protocols are captured. We have the TCP, the IP, we have the UDP that we also capture, the HTTP, and so on. HTTP has another version, which is the HTTPS. Difference between both is just encryption, which is security. So the HTTPS is more secured than the HTTP. It's surprising to note that researchers are still, most of the sites researchers visit are still operating under the HTTP protocol. MIT.edu, NYU.edu, Oxford University website, so many of them are still using HTTP. Now, this is the procedure. We listed the procedures here for carrying out the analysis, capturing packets, viewing the packets, saving the packets, exporting the objects, and so on. Another application that we'll be using is the Hash My Files application. This application is also graphical user interface. It is user-friendly. You can just load up a file to the application and view the MD5, the message digest 5 fifth algorithm of the particular file. Copy that MD5, take it to another application where you can scan it for malware. Okay, from here, we can copy our MD5. Once you copy it, you take it to an application called VirusTotal. The VirusTotal application is an online application that blacklists malware and like is a database of malware. It has blacklisted malware. So any file, hash key, or any URL, or any file itself that you take to this application will be able to match that file or the hash key to what it has in the database. And if there is a match, it returns the file or hash key as having malware. But if there is no match, it also tells you there's no match, or the file is free, or no vendor has flagged this file as a malware file. This is the environment where you can load up a file, enter a URL, or use the search to scan through hash keys. The Wireshark application captures, like I said, it captures a lot of protocols. In order to analyze any protocol, say the HTTP or the TCP, the UDP, any of the protocols you intend to analyze, all you need to do is apply what we call filter. Filter has to do with separating the content you want. Let's say I want to analyze HTTP protocols only. So I'll go to the address bar and type small letter HTTP. So what we have here are the filter names and the filter expressions that you should type into the address bar. So for UDP, I type in small letters UDP. For TCP, I type in small letters TCP. So we presented this so that while you're trying to filter for any protocol, you know the filter expressions to use. The first aid box, as the cyber first aid box, has in it has tools in it, and some of these tools, like we listed already, are the packet sniffers and analyzers, the hash key program, the VirusTotal program, the antivirus, the clearing of browsing history. Cleaning of browsing history has to do with just cleaning up the cache of your browser so that the cookies are freed. Even if somebody gains access, your details won't actually be there inside the cookies. Just keep clearing whenever you finish browsing, except you can clear the browsing history and keep the system clean. Cyber hygiene best practices is a sixth tool in our toolbox. Now, if any file has been discovered, or let's say any URL has been discovered to have malware after you've checked it out or scanned it in the virus tool environment, the next thing to do would be to block that URL from communicating with you. To do that, to have the procedures laid out to also carry out a demonstration on this. Okay, thank you. Permit me to quickly run through the demonstration and come back here to conclude. We'll be using the Wireshark application, like I said already, and I'll be running this as an administrator. The app is up. I'll right click on it and say run as administrator. Okay. Our choice of Wireshark is just this interface. It allows a new user to see what he's doing, be able to follow the procedures, follow the instructions without much hassle. The other packet capturing application is DOS-based, that's the Nmap. The Nmap will not give you such an interface, so it's not actually for people who are not conversant with computing. So to capture data, I'm going to double click on the Wi-Fi connection. And once I do that, I have packets flowing in. I have packet UDP packets, TLS packets, which is the transport layer security, TCP packets, just name them. We have all packets and the protocols flowing in. The UDP packet is actually connectionless packets, the protocol is connectionless protocol, while the TCP is connection oriented. And Google has been trying to reduce the delay in transmission and reception of requests. Like using the TCP, there are like a couple of handshakes between the time a request is made and when the request or response is received. So as a result, they have now what we call the quick QUIC, quick protocol. The quick protocol kind of bypasses the handshakes that are involved in the TCP. So permit me to feed data because I'm still waiting. I need to get enough HTTP data to work with. To do that, I'll open my Google browser and type in HTTP. I want to feed packets by opening some sites. Okay. .edu. Looking at HTTP sdfarms.com. Okay, maybe we stop here. You can look at that of Fox News. You can look at so many other pages that can help us feed or load up packets, HTTP packets into our Wireshark capturing application. Okay. mit.edu, let me just add that. Okay, so we have all these. the next thing to do would be to see if we now have enough HTTP to work with. Okay, I think I have enough. Okay, so now we go back to our Wireshark to see what we have. Let me try feeding more on. So okay, I think we are done. Okay, then go back to Wireshark, and save, stop and save what you have captured so far. So I will, to stop it, the red button is here. I'll click on the red button to stop. I'll save what I have by directing it to the desktop, creating a new folder, I'll call this Wshark. Wshark is my folder name, investigation. Okay. Choose the second entry here and save. Now I've saved the folder. To save what I captured, I'll put the file name. The file name will be WS capture, WS cap. Okay, let's save this. So after saving the folder, the next thing to do will be to filter the folder, to filter what I've captured. Because what I need here is just the HTTP files, like I said. So I'll be filtering by typing in HTTP in the address bar and hitting the enter key. So I have the HTTP files only without the other protocols. The next thing will be to export these files to where I can view them, know the kind of, whether they're applications, whether they're images and texts, the kind of data they are, the kind of packets they are. So to do that, I'll go to File, Export Objects. What type of objects? I'll say HTTP. To sort this file in alphabetical order, I click on Content Type. So with that, I have the file sorted in alphabetical order. Okay. Now I'll be looking at the applications. I can view any of these applications for malware. So, but I need to save them with their extension names. This is a JavaScript file. This is also a JavaScript file, and so on. We verify the kind of files that we collected by looking at their, this is an image, of course. So in order to save any of these files, I'll simply say, click on any one, save it in the folder I created. I call it WS. Okay. Okay. I call it Wshark investigations. So this is the folder, and this is .js file. Now we save, confirm it's the right one. Okay, it's .js file. When the extension name does not show, find the extension name and add it to the file you're saving. So I've saved this file. Now there's another application that I need, which I've mentioned earlier, the hashmyfile.exe. I've downloaded it, it is in my folder. So what I can do is to open the my downloads. Sorry, it is in my downloads. Open downloads and get hash my file, copy the hash my file application and save it in the folder where I'll be working. That's the folder where I loaded other things. That's the desktop folder called Wireshark investigation. So I've opened the Wireshark and I'm saving hash myfile.exe. This can be downloaded from online and then you use it to generate hash keys for your files. So right now, I will open the hash myfile.exe, click on the open icon and go back to the same folder where I have the packets saved. W sharp. That's it right here. And then load up the file that I saved with it. So now the hash key has been generated. Just by loading it up to hash my files, it will generate MD5 message digest 5 algorithm. And then with that, we can verify if this has malware. So double clicking the MD5 and copying it, Control C. Now carrying it to an online application called VirusTotal. Online application called VirusTotal. And then placing it inside the VirusTotal search uploading. Okay. Sorry, I'm still connected, I hope. Okay. Okay, it's now up. So I paste it right here and then hit the enter key. So with that, it will investigate if this file contains malware. Okay. If it does, it will let us know. Right now, it tells me there's no security vendor or sandboxes flagged this particular file as malicious. So that means my file is free, even though the percentage is quite low, 57%, but it means found to be free of malware. Okay. You can check for URLs, you can check for your emails, any email attachment you receive, you can actually come here and verify if it contains malware. Any file you've downloaded to your system, like I have a file downloaded. So to investigate that file, I need to just click here, say choose file. It takes me to my downloads directly. Now I can load up a particular file I'm suspecting, and then blah, it's telling me that file has been flagged as containing malicious content. Now it's been flagged by 2 vendors. Even though it has 69% certainty, what I'll do is simply to delete it. I will not install this file because it can actually cause vulnerability to my system. So I'm not going to install this file. I'll simply delete it from my downloads. I think this settles it. You can check your email, check attachment, check PDF files that you've downloaded from online before you open them or before you start reading them. Now, having done this, I would want to show you how we can block any site that has been shown to have malware presence. To do that, we'll open our notepad and run as an administrator. Okay, it's up here now. So we go to the file, open, local disk, Windows, system 32, drivers. We have drivers right here, etc. The next will be to change text documents to all files. Then hosts. So right here, we can type in the IP address of any website we have found to contain malware. With that, that website can no longer communicate with our system. Let's say I'm trying to block Twitter or Facebook.com. I'll type in 127 because I found that to be the IP address 127.0.0.1. Give a space and write the site name facebook.com and twitter.com and twitter.com, then save this. So after I've saved it, these two sites will no longer be able to communicate with my system. So let's find if that works. Facebook.com. Yeah, tells me this site cannot be reached. So that's how you can block any site that you have found to contain malware. Thank you for your time. Right now, we'll stop sharing, or rather go back to our presentation to tidy up. We'll have the references we used, and I want to invite you to our upcoming events. Will be taking place in the month of June. Date is June 26th, 26th of June 2022. The topic is cloud-enabled additive manufacturing. The link is right here. Registration is free. Please get involved in knowledge acquisition, especially when you're getting it for free. I want to also thank Dr. Krishnan for the opportunity, because I have colleagues call me and say, please, can we have this video? The first one was not really clear. Can we have it redone? So we got permission to have this separate video, and I thank Dr. Krishnan for this great opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll stop sharing now.